What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Station Bakery. Let's make some confetti cake balls. I am starting off by melting down about 2 cups of white chocolate. While the chocolate is melting in the microwave, I'm going to start preparing our sprinkles. These are just generic sprinkles that I found from the grocery store, but you can use any kind of sprinkle that you see fit. Check that your chocolate is fully melted by giving it a stir. I find that white chocolate burns really easily, so always be careful. Now I am adding in my rainbow sprinkles. I am gently stirring them in, making sure that I don't break any, but making sure that it gets mixed in really well and dispersed evenly. Once they're mixed, I then go in with just a few more sprinkles that I just barely tap in. This is going to really help me in the process of making sure that those sprinkles come to the top of the chocolate. So now I am taking a scoop of chocolate and pouring it inside of the mold. Using the back of the spoon, I am spreading that chocolate around, making sure to fill in any empty crevices. You kind of want to be careful on this part because the sprinkles can get caught on the spoon and drag lines and things through it, but just gently pat in and make sure that you're filling in any of those holes. And as always, if you do end up with any spaces, you can always shake and tap it at the end. Repeat this process until all of your molds are filled. Let your chocolate set by leaving it out for a couple of hours or plopping it in the refrigerator or freezer for just a few seconds to let it chill. Once the first layer of chocolate has set, go in with your second layer of chocolate, making sure to focus on the edges. We want to make sure that there are no holes, gaps, or thin spaces on our edges because those are going to be key in helping us to have excellent cake balls. If the edges are too thin, then they will begin to melt in your hands and you won't be able to seal off the 2 half pieces properly. Once you have layered on your second coat of chocolate, you are then going to pop them back into the freezer or refrigerator or leave them out at room temperature until they are set again. Now that the second layer of chocolate is set, I am going to use an offset spatula to scrape off those excess pieces around the edge. This is an important step in helping to ensure that I have nice, clean seams. Now on to the fillings. Now, typically you would probably expect, like a rainbow cake or confetti cake, but this is going to be a little bit different. So here I am adding in just a few sprinkles into my icing mixture. And I'm just going to give that a nice little stir, making sure that all of the sprinkles get incorporated really nicely. And this is going to go into 1/2 of my cake balls. If you've been around long enough, you know that I always say that you have your freedom of expression to do whatever you want to do with the ideas and things that I give you. So in the second half, we are adding in cookies, crushed cookies, and we are going to make a cookies and cream frosting. This is going to go inside of my second half of cake balls. I don't have any exact measurements for you for how many cookies I crush. I just crush up however many I feel like it, and then I just pour it in. And it's cookies and cream, so I don't think you could add too many. So yeah, mix it up, and then we are ready to move on to the next part. Now onto the cake part of our cake balls. I am mixing up vanilla and chocolate cake to make a sort of marble cake. And this is going to be the base for both of our cake ball fillings, the confetti and the cookies and cream. We are going to split this up 1/2 and 1/2. So here I am just mixing in the pieces into my hand and kind of like softening them up and mushing them together to help them stick and form the shape inside of the mold. I like to press it in and then use my fingers to make a crater in the center of the cake. I push the cake up the sides of the cavity. Repeat this process for as many cake balls as you need. I really love just how versatile cake balls and different treats are because you can literally create anything, fill them with anything, mix and match with anything, and just really be creative. So I really like this idea. So I was happy to get this order and mix it up and mix and match the different flavors and things. Let me know in the comments below, what are some of the weirdest or unconventional flavors and combinations that you've put together? And this is what they should look like. Now let's get ready to add in our fillings. First up, our confetti fillings. I do like to place the icing inside of a piping bag because it just makes it so much easier to just easily pipe in the buttercream. And now we go in with our cookies and cream filling. Same thing, inside of a piping bag. It makes it so much easier, but you want to take into account the crushed cookie size to make sure that your hole is big enough for it to be able to come through, so you don't just splatter and make like a whole huge big mess. Anyone who's ever worked with cookies and cream buttercream, I'm pretty sure you've experienced this where a cookie has gotten stuck because it can't fit through. Now it's time for the most satisfying part. I mean, outside of eating it, of course. Popping these out of the mold, the satisfaction that you feel when it comes out so perfectly, so beautifully, and so shiny, it's amazing. It's amazing, and if you know, you know. So I am popping these out by pulling apart the edges and then using the back of my fingers to push up the cake ball out of the mold. So now I'm going in with a heated pan that I heated on the stove. Always exercise safety and caution when doing this, and I'm using that hot pan to melt down the edges of my chocolate. This is why also when we were scraping down the edges while it was still inside the mold, it was so important because it just makes the pieces adhere together so much easier, and it minimizes you having to fill in any extra holes. Now I feel like these look pretty good as they are, but, you know, we have to go in and we have to add some kind of extraness, some kind of extra decoration onto it. So I'm using a plastic baggie filled with more of that same white chocolate, and I cut a tiny hole and I'm just using it to drizzle over the white chocolate. Then I'm going to top it off with some of the same sprinkles on top, just a little bit to add just another splash of color. I feel like this is one of the easiest ways to decorate these, of course, aside from just leaving them plain and bare. But this is like the easiest way that you can decorate these. Just drizzle on some chocolate, throw on some sprinkles, and it just transforms them to like a whole nother level, and I love it. And if you've loved this video on cake balls, please give this video a like and hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Check out these other videos here, and until next time, peace.